Hey guys, welcome back. Today I will be sharing a first trimester recap. I'm really excited to be sitting here filming this for y'all, so let's get started. If you're new to my channel, my name is Bianca and I am going to be a first-time mom. I am currently, as I'm filming this video, 19 weeks and 3 days. By the time you're watching this video, I will probably be like 20, maybe closer to 21 weeks. Oh my goodness, like I literally cannot believe I'm sitting here filming a first trimester recap. I feel like I just found out that I was pregnant a couple of weeks ago. The time has just flew by. I'm so excited but cannot believe like how fast things are going. Whew, 19 weeks ago. Oh my goodness, as much as time is flying by, like that is a significant amount of time that has passed by. So I guess we'll just go way back. So I found out I was pregnant when I first missed my cycle. I did experience like a few symptoms like right whenever I had missed my cycle, and it was just like a little bit of nausea, and this may sound really weird. My gag reflex was just like at an all-time high. But other than that, I felt normal. I did see an increase in my chest size, which is a very new and strange for me. I'm very petite there. So I did see increase in size and tenderness, soreness, and like a little bit of nausea. Other than that, I felt pretty normal. I had like immediately made a doctor's appointment, went, got everything confirmed. Now we are into like week 6 and 7, which were my like hardest weeks ever. So during those couple of weeks, I suffered from like all day nausea. I basically had it all day. Like there were moments where I was like, okay, like I'm okay, I'm good. And then it would kind of hit me again. And like I mentioned, my gag reflex was just like at an all-time high. I never threw up. So not only was I suffering from some nausea, a gag reflex, I also had a sinus infection. So I had like a big bobble head. I was super stuffy. My head hurt constantly. I had a little bit of a sore throat. I literally like just did not feel well, like period. Before getting pregnant, I had started to limit like my caffeine intake. If you are new to my channel, I absolutely love coffee, coffee obsessed, coffee lover. And actually I've gotten a lot of questions about how I'm doing like with caffeine and how I'm doing like not drinking so much coffee. And I'm actually doing relatively well. I do not, surprisingly, like I'm not drinking coffee. If anything, I have maybe a sip of Mark's coffee like on the weekend. Other than that, I haven't had coffee. I had been cutting back like just on my caffeine intake in general, and then found out I was pregnant, and it just like I kind of just stopped. I don't know, like it was a little bit of the nausea. So in the morning, Mark typically makes me eggs and coffee, and I couldn't do the eggs. Like the eggs were just like a no-go for like those first couple of weeks. And then I wasn't drinking my coffee, so I was just drinking my water. Then I had that severe sinus infection along with the nausea. So like honestly, I kind of just didn't even want to eat. But if I didn't eat, then I would feel more nauseous. So I just tried to stick to like my basic meal plan, 3 meals, about 3 snacks. So it's kind of eating like every 2 to 3 hours. And I felt like that kept the nausea like at bay. And then I felt like I kicked like the caffeine thing all at once during those 2 weeks. So that was kind of a lot for me. Once those 2 weeks passed, I started to just like feel better. Like my head started to feel better. The nausea started to just like go away. I would get nauseous throughout the day, like at just different times, but it wasn't like that constant feeling. The funny thing is, which it wasn't funny then, the thing that would make me the most nauseous were public restrooms. I have a thing with public restrooms, cannot, do not, would not use them, and like being pregnant, that wasn't an option. So that is what would kick in the nausea for me every time I just knew I was going to a public restroom. That triggered it. Going into a public restroom would trigger my gag reflex, and I've got to stop talking about it or it will start triggering it again. But I started to get better. And during those 2 weeks, I did have just like minor like food aversions. Eggs, like I said, were a total no-go for me. So I was just like eating toast and peanut butter for breakfast every morning because that was like the only thing that slightly sounded good to me. And then I did have an aversion to water, which was the craziest thing. And I did not like that whatsoever because I drink so much water. And the taste of water, I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, I need to stay hydrated. I need to drink my water. And there was a moment there that it was really hard. I did have to drink like fruit infused water, and that helped out tremendously. But for about 5 to 7 days, my water literally had to have fruit in it, and then I had to like supplement with like a Powerade or a Gatorade to make sure like I was staying really hydrated. That came and went really fast, and I'm so thankful for that because whew, like that was a struggle. Water is like the lifeline. So during those a couple of weeks that I was just kind of down for the count, my whole support system really stepped in and helped me out because I am a go-getter. I love doing things. I'm always on the go. Even if I'm home, I'm constantly doing something. Something needs to be cleaned. Something needs to be decluttered. I want to craft. I want to plan. I want to film. I want to do something. And I kind of was just like at a halt. And that took me off guard for a little bit. And like my mom and my sister and Mark, they're just they're my angels, they're my blessings. During those couple of weeks, like mom would come over and she would cook for us and they would help us clean. And Mark had to do a lot of the cleaning and I kind of was just like on the sideline. But for the best reason ever, like bringing my little angel into this world. A big thank you to Mom and Meg for just, oh my goodness, like getting us through those couple of weeks. We literally could not do it without them. I started to feel really good around week 8 and 9. My body started filling out in all of the places. I had my first ultrasound at 8 weeks, and oh my goodness, if that was not just the most precious thing in the entire world. We got one of the most perfect little pictures, and you could see the little teeny tiny nose, and I am just so obsessed. And the crazy thing is, so I had that at 8 weeks, and then I wasn't scheduled for another ultrasound until 20 weeks. And I was like, what? I watch all of these mommies on YouTube. I feel like every update, like these mommies are going to get ultrasounds. And I was like, is that normal? Like, what is this? Like, how am I not going to see my baby for like another, how many weeks is that? 8 to 20. I can't even do the math. What is that? 8 to 20. Bianca, why can't you do simple math right now? 12 weeks. Yes, 12 weeks. I thought that was the most just bizarre thing. And I asked them like, well, why? Like, and they just said like, that's the way like their office works. And I like, well, Googled it. Google says it just like, it depends on your state. It can depend on your city. It can depend on your, you know, doctor's office. And I was like, okay, like, okay. And then at week 11, we got to hear the heartbeat on the Doppler, which that was just beautiful. Every time I get to hear the heartbeat, I'm just like, oh, my heart, oh my goodness. So by week, I would definitely say by like week 9 and 10, I started to see like a change in my body. I was feeling out in all of the places. My face was getting like very round and plump. And typically when I start to gain weight, like my face tells it all. So I started to see that. By week 11, I was already like venturing into like the maternity aisles at all of the different stores. And I definitely needed some maternity jeans. I feel like for the most part, like even now, like my tops fit, you know, still pretty good. I have sized up in some of my tops, but the more I size up, like you can't see the baby bump. It just, my clothes just like look oversized. So I kind of like wearing my like normal size shirts and filling out in all the places that I have filled out in, and especially my little baby bump. So definitely by week 12, I was in maternity jeans and I was showing a baby bump for sure. And that was like, I mean, I guess like what people like say is like the safe marker. I am a Capricorn, B type A personality. And I'm always just like, just on edge a little bit. So even like hitting that 12-week mark, I was like, okay, you know, I definitely want to announce now. I'm definitely showing, so we should announce now. So we had a moment with our families and we shared the news and we just soaked all of that love in. And then I told friends and coworkers, and then that was just exciting all over again. And then I want to say week 14 is when we filmed our little pregnancy announcement for you guys. And if you missed it, I will leave the link to that video in the description box below. So I want to say, like, that's about it for the first trimester. I've watched so many of these videos, especially when I was like feeling really nauseous for days on end. I was like, oh my gosh, like, is somebody else feeling what I'm feeling? Please let me know. And it was very comforting to just watch someone else's story and their journey, and like to just hear like you're not alone. By week 12, so I'm trying to stay like within that first trimester, like, and not move into the second trimester. I will give you guys another update closer to the end of my second trimester. But around that 12-week mark, I started to definitely feel like some round ligament pain. And again, Capricorn, type A personality, I was like, what is this? What is going on? In general, like pre-pregnancy, I'm very in tune with my body, and experiencing all of the changes was just, number one, beautiful and a blessing, but I definitely noted everything down. And by week 12, I was like, oh, this is different. I did start to experience around like week 11, week 12, some hip and back pain. Just a little side note, for a couple of years now, maybe actually 3, I have had some like issues with my, I think it's like your sciatic nerve, and have to like be very careful like when I'm crafting or planning. I love to do that on the floor, and my back says no, no, no now. Or just like if I overexert myself with like a ton of like house cleaning and like on my hands and knees, like cleaning the floor, I definitely have to be careful with that, just even pre-pregnancy. So I was kind of worried about that. Like, okay, now that I'm pregnant, I didn't know what to expect with back pain. And towards like week 11, week 12, I finally was, you know, I had all of this energy come back, and I did start to have some of that pain at nighttime. And then I started to have some hip pain as well. My back was uncomfortable, so I was sleeping on, you know, one of my sides. I did get a pregnancy pillow. I mean, I'm still currently using it, but it's just not enough for like hip pain. We even ended up getting like all of these different like memory foam like cushions for the bed, and some of them were too soft, so it would feel good for my hips, but then it would hurt my back. And then some of them felt good for my back, but it would still hurt my hips. So that has been just a little bit of a struggle, which leads me to my next thing. I drink a lot of water just in general, like even pre-pregnancy. So I'm used to going to the restroom a lot, and now that has been multiplied times 10. So I have not slept through the night. Basically since I found out I was pregnant, I would say I haven't really slept through the night because of just like all of the water and going to the restroom so many times. It's a good thing because the more that I go to the restroom during the night, I get to switch sides, and it helps with my hip pain. So if I go to sleep on my right side, I'll be up in a couple hours to use the restroom, then I'll flip over to my other side, and then kind of repeat that all night. It's just something that I've gotten used to. My body is preparing me for my little angel to come. I feel like that is about it for like this first little trimester recap. The love that I feel for my baby is just like, it's indescribable. Overall, I feel just incredibly blessed with my pregnancy so far. Alrighty, well, I think that is it for like this first little trimester recap. I hope I wasn't all over the place. It feels like it was just 2 weeks ago, but in my mind, pulling that information out feels like it's been a long time. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I do want to film more of like a Q&A style video, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll probably get that one filmed before, so after this one, but before the second trimester update. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are not already subscribed. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.